I'm here today with Dave Hitz, who co-founded NetApp in 1992. And since 1992, NetApp has grown to over $5 billion in sales, become the leader in computer storage and network applications. And we're here to talk about innovation. Dave, innovation is itself a kind of abstract word, and when people talk about it, you get a kind of abstract discussion around it. What are the real specific things you do at NetApp to encourage innovation?
Innovation is messy. I don't think there's a simple formula for innovation, but I think there's some places that it happens and some things you can do to encourage it. My personal feeling is the most interesting innovation happens with two people fighting at a whiteboard. And the two of them are both openly willing to say, well, no, what you just wrote makes no sense. And then the other one says, well, wait a minute, maybe it makes sense, and you argue about it. I try and role model that kind of thing when I'm in discussions of, I don't know, maybe this is wrong. Let's fight with the idea. Innovation is also about, there's cultural things you can do about innovation. If you want a strictly regimented, tell everybody exactly what to do culture, you may drive costs down, but you're not going to get innovation. If you want a culture of innovation, put pool tables and put ping pong tables around and tell people, when you get frustrated, why don't you just go play?
So random meetings where ideas pop up. Tom Peters wrote about that in Search of Excellence and some of his other books.
The other thing that you can try and do as a leader is you can try and help your own employees understand the big picture of what you're trying to do. And we have all of these goals and all of these trends and flash memory and Hadoop and all of these different things. And our CTO was trying to help put that together into a story for all the engineers so they could understand the forces coming at them. And he turned it into a giant poster. And this giant poster has pictures of a volcano, and that represents flash memory, which is potentially a major disruptive force in the market. And the lava's coming down right at NetApp, going, well, how are you going to deal with this one? And then it had certain of our beliefs about technologies that we think will be successful. And he put this whole thing in a picture so that people could look at it and just it's like a brainstorming almost. And then to get attention, he turned the whole thing into a suit. I mean, innovation, it's fun if you're doing it right. It's playful, and it's not tangible. Like you can say, well, I just went and created this much innovation, but you can create an environment where it's more likely to happen.
Well, I now see the link to culture, and that is that implicit in these debates is trust.
I've been using engineering examples, but I think innovation can happen with customers as well. We have an innovation awards program for our customers. We find which customers are doing the most interesting things with our products. We give them awards, but partly we bring them in to learn from them. If this customer did this innovative thing with our product, what did they do and how and why? And maybe then we can turn around and help other customers do that same thing. And then that other customer will say, boy, those NetApp guys sure are innovative. But I think it's like Picasso said, good painters borrow, great painters steal. Innovation is something that you can learn by going after other companies that do it and watching them. So for us, this innovation program is part of that.
Well, for NetApp, it's been a huge winner. You consistently make other magazines' list of the best places to work for. But it's not clear to me that making a list of the best places to work for and being an innovative company always go together. How do you bring those two together?
Wow, that's a great question. Does being a great place to work tie into innovation? I agree with you that it wouldn't have to. Innovation requires risk-taking. Innovation requires people willing to do crazy things. And sometimes it's crazy in that you trusted them, and so there's a cultural aspect of that like, oh my God, I'm not sure that would work. And so sometimes that's the company trusting the employee. Sometimes it's the employee saying, I'm willing to go on a suicide mission because I trust the company. If this thing doesn't work, then they'll give me another shot.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so I think there are strong cultural aspects to a level of trust and willingness to try new things and to not always play by the rules, but to allow employees to not always play by the rules, but trust that they won't do it in a malicious way. There's a lot of things tied up. I hadn't really thought of that linkage exactly the way you just put it, but I do think that there's a strong connection between culture and innovation.
Now, I know you're a fan of Clayton Christensen's seminal book, The Innovator's Dilemma. Now that NetApp is $5 billion in size, how do you avoid being on the wrong side of the innovator's dilemma, the side that says, we've got to protect our margins, we've got to protect our size, Wall Street will kill us if we don't, et cetera, et cetera. You know the whole drill. It's how large, successful companies make themselves very vulnerable to disruptive attack from below.
So NetApp was already fairly successful when I read Christensen's book, and I loved it because he explained so clearly how we had been successful. We started as a low-end product for engineering workgroups. Everyone said, that product's not good enough to be used for big internet environments. It's not good enough to be used for enterprise data. And when we started, it wasn't. But over time, it grew to be, and that's really Christensen's point. Low-end products get good enough. If you look at...
especially in technology, think Moore's Law makes them good.
Absolutely. So the point is, because I saw Christensen's book define NetApp's success so clearly, it really made me take his lessons to heart and be paranoid. So one of the things you asked, how does a $5 billion company avoid getting overtaken? And one of the things I'm always interested in is what new technologies are emerging. And especially, I'm very sensitive to the words not good enough. Whenever I hear somebody say something like, VMware just won't be good enough for high-end enterprise applications, I think in my head, that's what they said about NetApp, and now we are. So I want to get closer to those VMware guys. Now, there's lots of ideas that don't succeed at all. So you can't go after everything, but if you see a company starting to get successful, and they're doing really well somewhere, but you hear people saying they're not good enough, to me, that's the sign that I want to go partner with them.